everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning into my last video, which was a collab with my friend Lauren. I'm wearing the same top, aren't I? I can't be living with that right now. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning into that video. Today I'm going to be doing a video on motivation to get better / recovering from self-harm, etc, and what kind of helps me in my recovery. Yeah, this video was actually requested or suggested by Shane Dawson for Life, who always comments on my videos, so thank you so much for all the love on that. This obviously kind of video is for you as you asked for it. So do comment on the video suggestions down below if you do want me to do a video on a certain topic, as I will probably always do it. Let's just get into the video. If you didn't know, I suffer with depression. I also suffered with self-harm in the past, don't suffer with that anymore, so peace out to my homies. I don't know what this video is even doing. The top thing I think that motivates me to get better is doing fun things. So me and my friends have started doing like mini road trips to places, which definitely, we didn't do it because I was like, I need to get better, but we just did it like, because it's a fun thing to do, and you know, we normally go on the weekend. We went to Brighton, we're gonna go to like Oxford or Cambridge or something like that because I live in Essex. So yeah, just things like that, just having things to look forward to. Short-term things I think really help. I find it hard sometimes to look far into the future and see like things that are going to get better in the future. I think having short-term things to look forward to is really, really helpful, because you can then, what's that? You can then like be like, okay, I'm going to recover for that. I'm going to do that. So what do I need to do to be able to do that in its fullness and stuff like that? Another thing I would say that motivates me to get better, or that's something that helps me to kind of get better, is pushing myself sometimes. Like sometimes it's a matter of getting out of bed and just pushing myself to do those things that I wouldn't necessarily do if I was like, I'm so depressed today, I don't want to do anything. Because ultimately, sometimes you don't know when those depression periods are going to end. So it's best to kick them up the butt while you can. And I'm someone, if I don't leave the house for the whole day, I will go insane. And when I say insane, I will feel sick. I will feel physically sick. I will stress out. I will do everything. And I have to leave the house, even if it's just to go to Sainsbury's, even if it's just to do something, I have to get out. Another thing, which kind of contradicts the last point, but kind of goes hand in hand, is not forgetting self-care. So if you don't be too hard on yourself, I would say, don't push yourself so much that you're doing something that you hate. I heard a quote once that said, there's nothing that kills creativity more than doing something that you weren't designed to do. And I totally believe in this quote. I totally think that if you are doing something day in, day out, whether that's a job, whether that's an activity, whether that's a behaviour that just ruins you, you will literally feel so bad. Sometimes it's not about doing what society says and doing things in the conventional way. Sometimes it's about doing things that are the best for you. And you know, if you are having a crap day and you don't want to do anything, don't push yourself so much that you're like actually feeling guilty about having a rest. Just have the rest and do those things that will help you to be able to get up and push yourself the next day to the extent that it's okay. For me, I think if I have like a proper, like, I normally don't make a day out of having self-care, like, because it just doesn't really take me that long to kind of have self-care. But my self-care is like normally in the evening, especially if I've got like a party. If I'm going out or something on the weekend, like I will do like the self-care on the Thursday and like have a nice bath and moisturise and like shave my legs and things like that. Things that just help you to feel better about yourself. And yeah, self-care is something that definitely does make you feel better about yourself. Another thing that helps me, this is kind of to do with self-harm, and another thing that really helped me in my recovery, obviously I've been recovered from self-harm for about the last 2-3 years now, and I haven't self-harmed then. And that's not to say I haven't had times where I'm like, I want to self-harm. Like, I've not had times where I've reached that point. But honestly, sometimes just do it for the numbers. Like, I'm not someone, because I think I used to put too much pressure on myself to be like, I'm this many days recovered, or I'm this many whatever. But sometimes it's actually just about being like, 3 years of not self-harming and then I'm going to self-harm for one night. Like, that's just not doing it for me. Like, that is not gonna help me or make me feel better about myself. Saying to yourself, look how far you've come, look how far you've come from, even if everything in yourself is telling you to do that behaviour, whether it's to binge, whether it's to purge, whether it's to self-harm, or whether it's to do a negative behaviour, think about it like this: am I going to let one night of bad emotions ruin that for me? But when I was like a bit younger, so when I was 15, 16, I like made a list of reasons like around why I wouldn't self-harm. Being able to wear, you know, short sleeves, being able to go out confidently, being able to go out and have fun and like do those things. And there's a quote on Tumblr. Yeah, it says, "I feel really sad for people who don't let themselves have cereal late at night, go on ice cream runs with friends, pizza at sleepovers, or eat things like oil and salt. Living spontaneously and enjoying food are such fun parts of life and some of my favourite memories. If you're restricting yourself or letting some toxic mindset control you, please work to set yourself free. Life is too short not to eat music at 10 p.m. or your body weight in peanut butter." And that is by a girl named Dali. That quote for me just sums up everything that I would have told myself back then. The amount of things I missed out on when I was struggling with an eating disorder, struggling with self-harm, especially struggling with an eating disorder, isolates you. Completely isolates you and actually makes you really selfish. You don't care about what other people think. You're just like, I'm not going to that thing. Even if it was like a friend's birthday party or something like that, I'd be like, I'm not going. I can't eat food there, so why am I going to do that? Like, it makes you really negative. And just having those small things, so making a little list and saying, these are the reasons why I want to get better. Yeah, just having those small things that will help you to get better will really, I think, motivate you to push yourself to get better, if that makes sense. So just quickly, I'm going to talk about how CAMS kind of helped me. And CAMS is the Child and Adolescent Mental Health Services. Yeah, they are really, really good. I always say this, depending on what therapist you have and things like that, what will make it beneficial to you. The one thing that CAMS really did help me to do was to rationalise behaviours and to understand the deeper reasons as to why I did those things. So for me, it was self-harm and suicide, but they definitely push you. My second therapist, which I had for the longest time, Lucy, she was really nice, but towards the end, at the beginning, she was very sensitive to my needs, which was what I needed. Towards the end of like the year and a half, I was like, I need to kick up the bum. I even realised that, and I was like, I'm not getting pushed enough, I'm not getting the things that I need. So then I moved to my last therapist, who I had for about 6 months, Kate. She was bomb. She was absolutely bomb. She would be like, why is this? And it was like, towards the end, because I was sort of like in the place where I didn't really need like all those things to be brought up again. It was just like a chat. We used to have like the best chats. Like I would tell her about people at school and stuff like that. She'd be like, literally, she'd be like, no flipping way. Like, oh my God. Like, and it would be really fun. And she really pushed me. She would be like, she was someone and you'd be like, I don't know why you didn't. She'd be like, well, yeah, you do. And I'd be like, okay. So having the right therapist is definitely like really important. It was really good to just be like, to have that space to dig deeper, and they do push you, even though it's uncomfortable and everything in your being's like, oh, I don't want to do it. It really did help me in that sense. Also, CAMS gave me an expectation for other therapists in the future. So I personally haven't had any other counselling apart from CAMS. Yeah. I just haven't had it. I was looking into, well, I'm kind of still looking into having a bit more therapy just to deal with some things that have more arisen now, rather than like things like self-harm and suicide, just like, you know, different behaviours and thought patterns, stuff like that. If you are at CAMS or are going for a CAMS assessment, do watch my other video because I talk a bit more in detail about that. So I will link everything you need in the down bar below for that. But yeah, if you do have any questions regarding CAMS, feel free to contact me on Tumblr or just leave a message below. But if you want to private message me on Tumblr, I will leave that because you can obviously anon message and stuff like that. I'm now uploading twice a week and I'm really proud of myself. I know I probably shouldn't say that, but it really does make a difference, and I really love uploading and filming videos, even though sometimes it's a nightmare to get this bloody thing up. But yeah, I really do love making videos, and thank you for all the continued support on my videos and stuff like that. So I love you lots and lots and lots, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!